There he is.
Hey, what's up?
Not much, man. Just running around, running a show. All right. Killing the game. Trying to figure out what I can do with my overexposed background. It's just literally, is this okay? Does this bother you at all?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know you had charms back there. Like you went and adjusted some like wind chime thing on the window, and I was just like, wait, does something exist back there? I thought I was in like some kind of, I don't know. It just doesn't look
Yeah,
like it.
it's
I'd-
just bright. Yeah, there's like a little wind chime thing attached to it. Why is it there? I don't know. It's there. Like anything that's sort of cutesy is just in my background. I don't know why.
Mhm. You have wonderful leaves.
I don't know. I like a natural. I wanted like a before when this setup was in my bedroom. It was very like black countertop, like very gamer looking. And I was like, I don't know. I want something like natural with green. I want to feel like I'm outside while being stuck inside. You know? It's like this like
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I got this like plant and shit. So, but
Is it a real plant?
it is a real plant, and I don't know how it
Okay,
hasn't died. But I think it's because it's more into like desert climate, so I don't have to water it as much.
that's fair.
We
That's
did.
fair.
But what's up, dude? How you doing?
All right. Just got back from a little bit of frisbee golf with a friend, so
Okay,
it's all good.
spend some time outside.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It's a beautiful day. It's like 70 degrees, so it's like 15 degrees cooler than it was the other day. And it's I don't know, it's a nice day. Happy Saturday.
Yes, I want to get, dude. I've been feeling some like major burnout. Do you what?
Really?
Yeah, I hate to like. Hey guys, I just trauma dumped on Noct, but like it's running. Okay, so you're a part of. So you have your community, and then you also run with Uncanny a lot. Do you have any
Yeah.
part in that community management in Uncanny?
Yeah, I am the social media director for Uncanny GG. Um, I have basically complete oversight for that Discord community and social media presence.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's community. It's all the time. Yeah.
Is- I'm finding like as this is growing, it's been stressful, and I wasn't expecting it because I thought I'd get into this just having fun talking to creators and whatnot, and now it's like the mesh of personalities, the mesh of like different mindsets is becoming this like people have expectations coming into the community. I'm just like, oh fuck, I have to figure it out and make rules. My name's Anime Daddy, you know, it's insane. But how long have you been doing this again? 6 years?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've been on Twitch since December of 2014.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fantastic.
That's a long fucking time. That's a long time.
Yeah, yeah. It was I got my degree in secondary ed and I did Teach for America right out of college. And I live 2 hours away from my fiance. Any of my friends, anybody I knew, I basically lived by myself. I had two roommates that were never there because I was either woke up and left for work before them, got home after them, or they got home so late that it was like 3 a.m. from like partying or whatever that like I didn't see them ever. And they were like people I just found on the internet to like live with, like not people I actually knew.
Oh, oh, that's I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, it was a bad decision. It was. I wouldn't recommend it. Oh, yeah, no, it was. There were other teachers in the TFA program, but like we had met once after deciding we were all going to live together,
Yeah.
and we were all like getting beers and hanging out, and it was fine. And then we found out we were completely incompatible roommates. Like it was awful.
Yeah, I technically luckily I still have a couple friends from high school that I could maybe move in with, but also I don't want to do that. I had a roommate before who was literally in this room, this office, which is now I guess my room, was where he lived, and living with people stink. Like it stinks to live with people, especially if they're even if they're friends, but like strangers. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but no thanks. Like
Yeah,
literally no
oh,
thanks.
where I was going with that was that like I'm a huge I love being around people, like even if I'm not like actively talking, engaging, or doing anything. I just like being in an environment where there's lots of people. Like I would go and do homework in like a public Starbucks,
Okay,
or like go and work in public places because I get more efficient when I have like a bunch of noise and people around. So
interesting.
like I like being around people, and when I was like basically starved of any like kind of social interaction, uh I was like, you know what? I watched Twitch when I was back in college. I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna try and find some people to hang out with because like I just needed friends.
I honestly didn't even imagine the amount of people I'd meet through this. Like, obviously through Twitch, like I sort of forget why I started doing Twitch, but I'm so happy that it's. Here's the question: do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert? I was asked this yesterday, and I said I don't think there. I'll let you. Do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert?
Definitely an extrovert.
Okay.
I get my energy from being around people. As soon as I'm not around people anymore, I like crash. Like
Interesting.
it's like sudden, like as soon as there's no interaction, as soon as there's no conversation, as soon as like I'm by myself, it's like I tunnel into being by myself and like go down a rabbit hole of like watching Crunchyroll or something and just like crash on the couch.
See, no, I feel that. I 100% feel that. I'm literally always talking to other creators now. It's kind of, I stay up until, well, you see, I stay up with John until 7 a.m. and then I fall asleep on the floor on his stream.
And then you don't. And I heard you lost your job.
Uh,
I
okay.
was in that call and you said you were going to work, and I was like, bro, maybe you should call someone.
Oh my God. Oh, you were there. You were there for the day before I got fired. Oh my God. That is true. I was just that we had that conversation because I was like, the reason I can sort of like shit talk about streaming and like kind of be in this space, kind of like wild and like, yeah, well, what do you think about this? I was like, because at the end of the day, I got a nice paying job that I can go to. And literally the next day I got fired because I stayed up until 7 a.m.
Wait, actually, was that actually why?
It's because I was consistently staying up late, just talking to creators. Like if it wasn't in John's, like in the milk bar in my Discord, we stay up. We stay up till 3, 4 a.m. And it was almost every single night because that's just how much I love and apparently can keep talking about
Doesn't
streaming.
doesn't sound like you were in the right job.
That's the consensus. Like there are people that say, you need to quit. You need to be doing. You need to go after this 100. So. I had a friend come to me, Jem. I'll talk. Everybody hears me talk about Jem. She called me the other day, or she messaged me and said, I need to quit my job. Like people don't understand. I think I have to go full in on content creation. Not content, just like there's so much passion behind this that she wanted to give up her job. And there's that battle. Like, should we or shouldn't we? Like, when did you go full time? Like, when did you make that decision?
Uh, when was it? October of 2018.
Okay.
So I've been making content full time for coming on 3 years. I was teaching at a school that was like, it was a private school at that point after I'd gotten out of TFA, and I just kind of job hopped between some entry level sales jobs before that. Finally got in at a school, and it was like a private school with super yuppie kids who, like, if I gave them detention and caught them bullying, they'd call their parents, and the parents would threaten to like not donate to the school if I got them in trouble. And needless to say, I wasn't asked back the next year because I had just come from teaching inner city kids and I didn't put up with shit.
Hell yeah.
So like, why am I gonna let some yuppie stand in the, and at that point, I told my wife, I was like, I figured out a whole bunch of ways that we were spending money that we didn't need to spend. I found a whole bunch of ways to like cut cost of living costs. And I live in Cincinnati, which is like one of the lowest cost of living metro areas in the United States. So it was way easier for, say, me who lives here to go into full-time concentration to say versus say someone who lives in like Boulder, Colorado, right? I just have a way lower cost of living and I can afford things for way cheaper. And so I was like, hey, if I start picking up shifts at the pizza. Actually, no, it wasn't October 2018. It was October 2017. So I guess 4 years.
Damn.
So that's when I started doing pizza. And I was like,
Yeah,
our next door neighbor was like the kitchen manager at a local mom and pop pizza shop.
Yeah.
It was like super like traditional Italian shit. And so he was like, hey man, if you just want to pick up shifts, I'll train you on how to toss pizza. And you can make some extra money on the side. And so I was like, I'm going to go content creation full time. I'm going to stream 40 hours a week and make YouTube videos and upload daily on YouTube and go head first into this and then work nights at the pizza shop.
Yeah.
And then I signed up for Lyft and Uber, and whatever ends didn't meet, I made up driving Lyft and Uber. So like I was content creation full time, but you've got to have other side gigs to be able to make ends meet. And you got to find ways to like cut down on your insurance payments, switch to a shittier cell service. Maybe, sell the car you got when you graduated college because you thought you made it big and had a nice big boy job and, get a beater, you know? I
This all sounds like personal experience.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm finding that since this huge, like, everything is happening at once for me, it's kind of like I have to make this, like, I live in the most expensive county in PA. Like, the rent here is $2,600 a month.
That's more than double my mortgage.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude. That's why the idea of going full-time content creation just seems, you put yourself in these positions, like, in life where you're comfortable. And then as a creative person, like, I've always done creative things. I did comedy, I was in bands, did art, all that stuff. So it was always leading to that, but it was always the fact of being comfortable, I guess, financially speaking. Like, it's nice to have nice things. I bought this. Part of the reason why I started streaming is because I was able to afford this way overpowered PC. So I was like, I have the money, I have a little bit of free time, and then it snowballed because, like we mentioned, we've met all these cool creators. We met all these. Streaming is inherently easy, so you get into it, and then Twitch has this great job of monetizing a hobby. Monetizing a hobby is something I never thought about, but that's kind of what this is in a way. Monetizing playing video games. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm
Wasn't
having
like that.
yeah, sorry, I had like an existential crisis, but go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say it hasn't been like that always. That the affiliate program I think came out in 2017 or early
Ooh,
2017.
yeah, no. So
Uh,
you were here before all that, like,
so like when I first started streaming, there was no affiliate program. There was partner, and then anybody could apply for partner. It was just an application on the website. But like the kind of and there was no, it wasn't locked behind anything. Anybody could apply. The
yeah,
thing was is that it was kind of a silent, unwritten rule that you needed 100 concurrent viewership or more to even be considered.
interesting.
And then when they came out with the affiliate program, they made like an actual like concrete roadmap for people and started letting people monetize their stuff.
Yeah,
And that's really when it started like becoming becoming realistic to think that at some point you could quit your job to like make ends meet streaming.
do you think, because from all of the people I talk to, because that's the people I talk to, that they make it too easy? Because so many people say that they're like, I'm a full-time streamer. I'm a full-time streamer. This is my job. But I kind of have a pessimistic outlook. Like, as much as I want to make this a full-time thing, as like I still have to have, like you said, those part-time jobs, Uber, DoorDash. Like, we're not really gonna make it. Like, there's this weird mindset. Like, I came across toxic positivity that everybody's gonna make it in some capacity. Like, I feel like Twitch is it's a bad thing that they've done. Do you agree? Or am I insane?
Uh, I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel like people making their own personal decisions based on their unrealistic expectations is another thing.
Yeah.
I feel like giving people a way to monetize a hobby isn't inherently bad. Does it sometimes enable people that have a habit of making poor decisions? Sure. But I don't think that's necessarily Twitch's responsibility. I think that's on the personal responsibility side to make, smart economical, smart business, smart personal decisions when it comes to your finances. And if somebody fucks up, they fuck up. Like, sorry, like you should have thought more about it.
We were talking about, like, what makes a streamer selfish the other day with John and his buddy Carr, and his buddy Carr sells cars. Go figure, a guy named Carr. And it goes in, who's the selfish person or who's in the wrong? He's going to try and sell a car to someone who maybe can't afford it, but they have the decision to say no. You know, like, even though they're overextended, or maybe they don't have the money, or they sign up for a loan. Like, who's in the wrong in that sense? Is it a person selling the car? Is it Twitch giving these opportunities, or is it the person making the decision? So it's like, it's this weird duality, you know?
I don't feel like that's an accurate comparison,
No.
mostly because I feel like there is one, car sales is high pressure.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Car sales is high pressure. You don't have a whole lot of time to usually think. You don't have a whole lot of time to consider and plan. Usually, you walk onto a car lot and immediately it's like, let me talk to my manager. You know what I mean? And then they
Yeah.
start like going in on, all the different crazy deals you can only get right now.
Yep.
And it turns into this, on the spot impromptu decision on whether or not you need this new car. Versus, I feel like you can take a smart and considered approach to leaving your job and finding ways to make ends meet on Twitch. But on the same side, I do kind of see what you're talking about, and I don't feel like it's the car salesman's responsibility to make that decision either. I feel like the car salesman only knows so much of a person's life experience. They know their credit score.
Yeah.
They know some of their credit history, maybe. They
Yeah.
know what down payment they can afford. But like, they don't know what that person's bills are. They don't know what that person's monthly nut is outside of what information they're given.
Yeah.
Their responsibility is to take care of their family, and they're going to try and sell somebody a car at the best deal they can probably get them. And, that's also going to make them money. And the person buying the car needs to carefully consider and intelligently consider what they can do and what's responsible. Yeah, one thing my dad always hit on and always joked about when we were growing up was, and he'd always like, kind of bark at us like, you need to take responsibility for other people's actions. But it was like a joke, right?
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say,
But like, it was like my brother would drop a plate and it would break, and he'd look at me and be like, you need to take responsibility for your brother's actions. And like, but it was like, does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, even looking back on it now, it sounds ridiculous, but it's something he did. And I grew up hating that mindset and hating that mentality that like I had to be responsible for somebody else's poor decision making.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody is personal. People can be in bad circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's in like, you can always want to help people, right? You can want to help people, and you can want to help people better their circumstances. But at the end of the day, it's up to that individual to make proper decisions and make decisions that are in their own best interest.
Damn. That's the fucking clip. Sorry. Like, do you think people put too much faith in Twitch is kind of the thing?
I think they put too much faith in just destiny, fate. I think people put too much faith in this is what I was meant to do, so I'm going to succeed no matter what kind of mentality.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
I think like this is what I was born to do. I love doing this. This is my passion. And just because it's my passion, I'm going to make it. But then when they hit roadblocks, those are the same people that turn around when somebody gives them advice and they're like, well, I've already tried this, and this. Why is what you're telling me going to work? I've already tried this, and this, and I'm not growing, so I guess I'm just doomed. And then they're still beating their head against the wall without actually being willing to take any criticism.
Dude, that's the big okay. So that's the big thing when I first came to like TikTok and I saw all you guys doing the tips and stuff. Like immediately it clicked. You see people kind of, I always say there's a lot of hand holding with those situations. Like they put a lot of, they think they're meant to do this. It's easy. They're building something small so they get this snowball traction effect, but then they're constantly looking for that help. And as soon as they hit a roadblock, they're taking every piece of advice. Do you think people take we can finally get into it, the streamer tips like too seriously and just use it as like law rather than as a guideline?
See, that's part of I don't know. A lot of the tips I give are more on the tech side of stuff.
That is true.
So
yeah.
like I'm like, here's like a Luma key filter, and here's how it works, and here's all the different settings you can do to filter out light in your camera or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to make something pop. I think that it gets excessive. I think that a minimalistic approach to a show is ideal. I don't think that having and this is all personal preference, right?
Yeah,
but I don't think that like having your gameplay tiny in a corner with a big graphic overlay around it with like your chat and a Capamon and GIFs playing all over the place, like that doesn't look good. I don't want to watch that.
No, but
like,
all of those things help you grow, Noct.
No, fuck that, dude. And that's part of why, like, when all of like the whole streamer tips thing became really saturated and baby streamers started hopping on and giving shitty tips to try to, grow their Twitch when they don't actually have any tenure or sustainability long term on the platform, they're not speaking from any form of experience, really.
Yeah.
Even if they see a small margin of success, they can give a tip on what led to that success, but it doesn't mean it's going to be long lasting or that it's going to work for everybody. When people start doing that and hopping on a bandwagon, it all of a sudden, like, I started giving tips. Like, I started trying to give tips that were meaningful, and people didn't want that. It was crazy. I gave a tip, like, when I was in TFA, we did exercises on finding your teaching style.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to look at core experiences that are core to like who you are and who you are as a person, and what kind of things that you want to be able to, like, what kinds of things make you who you are.
Yeah.
What are skills that you've developed from these experiences, right? What are the different skill sets that you have? What are the tools in your toolbox that you have because this is who you are? And then how do you incorporate that into teaching? And all I do when I'm working with people on content creation is I take that last step and I'm like, how do you apply this to content creation? How do you apply the skills that you have to make your content unique? Everybody wants to build a community. Everybody wants to have fun. Everybody wants to make friends. None of that's special. You're not special because you want to make a community on Twitch. You're what makes you special is you in the X factor that you can bring as a person to your content. And no matter what that is, I do fucking pizza tricks on camera and people like that. Like, where I take really complex topics and I break them down into ways that are typically very easily understand and concise
Yeah.
for people to be able to consume. That's something that I learned to do and it's something I was trained to do as a teacher. What are skill sets that you have that you can do to make your content differentiated from everybody else's?
Yep.
Cool overlays and flashy shit might bring somebody in initially, or it might not, depending on personal preference. But once they come in, how do you keep them there? It's like a hook with your aesthetic, and then you have to have your X factor that keeps them coming back multiple times. And then over time, you develop relationship and community and friends. None of that happens on the first time somebody clicks into your channel. As soon as somebody follows you, they're not your friend. You don't know them from anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Like that you don't, it's that you can develop that and you want to develop that, but you have to give them something of value to make them want to keep coming back to you.
That right there, the kicker between time, exposure, and then putting yourself into your content is super difficult because so many people struggle with who am I? How am I being different? Which is exactly what you need to do to like grow essentially, is be unique and invite people in. I'm just some schmo. When I first came to Twitch, I didn't realize other people were doing interviews. Like I thought I was like, oh my God, nobody else is doing interviews. That's going to be the unique thing. Lo and behold, there are other people obviously doing interviews with other streamers on Twitch, but for whatever reason, you guys think I'm charming as fuck, or you just really hate me. Hey, hate watch me. That's fine. But
you have great teeth.
Oh my God, with the teeth, bro. I don't get it. I've never had braces. They're crooked. No, but that's exactly it. For me, it was very early on. I found a certain thing that I love to do: talking, podcasts, getting to know their creators, introducing them to the people that I've gotten to meet. The big thing with these, I think that a lot of people that have podcasts, I'm going to talk about me, sorry guys, is a lot of people who do these like one-on-one styles is they rely on say they get a bigger streamer and that audience comes in. It's not about that. It's about proving to my already built audience or friends or streamers that I can introduce them to cool people. It's kind of like a raid in a sense. I'm introducing them to another streamer who my community can like, but I've been able to do that because I knew who I was. I'm genuine as fuck. I say shit that maybe I shouldn't, or like people don't like. And that's hard for people to find that one thing, especially in a market. What's the word I'm looking for? In a business, if you will. I know some people don't like to call this a business, but of people kind of doing this. It is in a business of people kind of doing the same thing, like there's tons of people playing games. How are you different? I mean, shit, that's how I have people sign up. How are you unique to be on this show at this point? But it's so hard to find that. How are you unique, Doc?
Okay.
No, but it's literally that. It's those small things that you found over time that makes you've, whether it be your logo, inside jokes, those things come with time. And then it's also the one or two friends who help build that. I mean, shit, Gert Gang in the, like, can I get a Gert Gang in the chat? Like, that's a thing that just came about. He did the thing. It's Pisces.
It's literally on my shirt. Like,
Pisces is going crazy. But that's the thing. What makes you unique? And it's, for some people, it kind of hits or it comes naturally. And other people, they tread water for the longest time because they get too caught up in certain things trying to build that,
Mm-hmm. People are too hard on themselves sometimes. And what I mean by that is it's introspection and self-reflection are skills that are developed. Being able to look at yourself and see what things of value you can bring to the table is something that, at least when I grew up, was something frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in Kentucky, right? I grew up in a very much like a very Bible Belt part of the the world, where it was like, you're not supposed to love yourself. You need to kind of be humble, and you need to be like reserved, and you need to make sure that like you give it's like, I feel like, and this is going to sound bad, and it sounds like I'm trashing on like religion and faith and stuff, but like it's like we were almost encouraged to sell ourselves short because everything we were good at came from something else, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've had my own personal battles with like religion and faith and all of that sense, but like what I find is a lot of people are similar, even if not for the same reasons. They have a hard time giving themselves credit. They have a hard time seeing what experiences they've had that actually give them validity in that, what experiences make them who they are.
Yeah.
And then and that's the core of the whole thing, right? You kind of have to know who you are, and you have to be able to love yourself and love who you are before you can really kind of find the value that you can give to others. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't see anything of value in yourself, you're not going to be able to bring value to other people in your content, because you don't see it as valuable. And you're not going to know what you do that brings people value, because you're not able to even see it when people tell you. You sell yourself short,
Dude,
and you've got to be able to do that.
finding that is huge. I still struggle with that. Like, even luckily, which was kind of a blessing. Like, I dropped the affiliate program because I wanted to take monetary value. Let's just talk about money wise. When I became affiliate, and then I realized that like everybody has like sub perks that go beyond just emotes and all that jazz. Like, you become
They
a part of,
do?
hey, unbelievable. Listen, I'm a brand new affiliate. Don't pressure me. Absolutely unbelievable. No, so like when I got the affiliate, I was just like, I need to add more value on top of these subs because that's going to help me stand out. People are going to want to be a part of the community. Like, I felt all this stress, and luckily dropping off of it, I've been able to put that. That's also probably a personal thing. Is Patreon has been able to kind of create that push. I've found value in the fact that these talks, people get stuff out of it, and then I do like the private show afterwards, right? They're like producers and stuff, but for a lot of people, finding that value is tough. I think. Well,
Mm-hmm.
do you think this is, I guess, tricky? Twitch gives us the tools. They add that value to begin with, like I said, emotes and say ad-free viewing and stuff like that. Do you think that's a good start, and then you go off that, or could it just be that? Like, you don't have to have extra value with those subs, right? In theory.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Do you, and it's really up to each individual streamer to figure out what it is that they want to do to show appreciation for the people that support them. At the end of the day, and this is going to get a little, this is going to go in a circle. I promise. It's all going to
No, you're good. You're good.
But you have to, and I just totally lost it because I just said that.
No.
So now it's gone.
Okay.
Okay. So the God, what was I gonna say? I totally lost it. I totally lost it because I just thought about, okay, how do I loop this back around, and I lost where I was gonna start.
Good. We got this. Reset.
I've had 11 concussions. So
another, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I remember you telling that story. Holy shit. All right, so we're talking about how do you need to bring value with those extra subs? Do you need
right? That was it. Okay, so do you need to bring value with when somebody subs to you? And I think that when you are making content, and you need to figure out how to make your content good, and you need to make content for the content's sake. I was talking with this one, my buddy was, he was playing while we were playing frisbee golf. He's a recording artist. He was in a touring pop punk band and played with Post Malone like a couple years ago.
little flex.
Like, we were, super awesome dude. I've literally been best friends with him since we were freshmen in high school.
Yeah.
And he was telling me how, like, but since he's like left his band in the last 2 years, he's been focusing on his professional life career, which is, college admissions counseling.
Yeah.
He's engaged, and they have a house and this, that, and the other, but he's still recording music and putting it on Spotify to essentially zero audience. Like, everybody recognizes the band name. They don't know him from the band.
Yeah.
Right. But he still writes and records music, and he makes the music because he loves the music, and he makes good music. and he's has a proven track record of success of writing and making good music.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care about it. He doesn't really care about the audience. He makes it because it's good, and he makes it because it makes him happy.
Yeah.
Right? When you make your content, you need to make the content for the content's sake. And if people appreciate that content, they can support you with a sub, but you're not necessarily like asking for that. Like,
Yeah.
people don't have to subscribe to you. You don't have to do anything in return. Those are all personal decisions that people make based on the value that you bring to them. And if you want to, that's a different thing. If you want to do something on top of that, great. We have sub nights on Thursdays. Every week, subs in my channel vote for what game we play on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
And, you know, every a time or two, maybe we do a separate poll for, you know, for the T3 subs. Right. And then halfway through we cut and then move to the second game. And that's about it. You know, I do, like, I have a wheel that I spin when people sub, and, you know, I
do shots of hot sauce.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But, like, that's in the moment stuff,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
that's not ongoing perks.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like got the wheel idea from my buddy Nerd Smash, because he does a hot sauce wheel, and I was like, man, I gotta get in on some of this. This looks too fun. And then I went and I actually did an in-person stream with him down in Florida. And I puked so many times from his freaking Mad Dog 365 spins. It was gross.
Why do you guys do this? Do I need to start doing like sub wheels and that's like I'm not a normal streamer. I'm just like, yeah, come listen to my fucking podcast, and I don't do anything crazy. But I guess that's within that.
But that's the thing, though. Like, you have to, but before that, right? Before I did any wheels or anything like that, I used to do 20 push-ups a sub.
You jacked?
You can see how that gets dangerous.
You jacked, bro?
Like what's 20 times 20, Jordan?
Hey man, name's Anime Daddy, don't know math. Don't know math.
I once had I had to do 1,000 push-ups in one night. It canceled I stopped my stream, turned on a webcam, pointed it at the ground, and for 5 hours I did sets of 10 push-ups.
I mean, you jacked?
Is that worth?
Is it worth?
I think. Yeah, is it worth the? I think it was like $100 that the guy dropped on gifted subs, because he wanted to see me. He just wanted to see if I do it. And I did it, but is it worth it? And the answer is no. All of your rewards and all of the stuff you do, you have to realize that as you grow, needs to be scalable.
Yes. Yes.
And you have to be able to do things to show appreciation. Sure, if you want to do that, that is your prerogative. You have the freedom to do that.
Yeah.
You know, will it probably end up making you more money in the end because you do things for people when they pay you? Yeah, probably. But, and, you know, doing this for as long as I have, it's like, yeah, I definitely see an uptick in, you know, monetary revenue when I do things that people then find entertainment from, specifically for the money. Right. But it has to be scalable, or else you're going to end up doing 1,000 push-ups for $100.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not worth it.
Yeah. It's finding that it feels like a lot of smaller streamers do that too. For some reason, I call myself saying, we can go into that discussion in a second, but I find a lot of newer streamers tend to try and find value in anywhere, doing shots of stuff, getting drunk on stream, doing small subathons. Like, what can they do to keep that small audience they have and provide as much value as possible? And sometimes it goes to just doing so many push-ups that literally your body breaks. So many.
I had to call off of work. I had to call off of work at the pizza shop the next day because I couldn't move.
Yeah. Because you want to push it. Like I said, I fought with it too, and it's taken me a while. Now my show, I feel, provides that value, and what I can do is those private shows with Patreon and shit. But now I'm back on.
And that's scalable.
And
as many people who are subscribed can come into that.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean.
Now the trick though is I have technically Twitch subs. So somebody did mention that the tier 1 subs. Who was that? I want to say it was Night Owl, but the tier 1 subs are just like the entry into just the entertainment, like the show, like no ads, like you said, and emotes. Like that's enough. I think Twitch does a good job with that for the most part, even though they take 50%. But then you have the higher tiers. So say I could have tier 2 or tier 3 people have the same Patreon perks, if that makes sense. So it's like you said, it's scalable and whatnot, and you have to find that as a creator. But that's very hard to do for a lot of people. So they end up doing 1 million push-ups.
And one thing I also like for like somebody like one of my like somebody that I wound up being like he was a T3 sub. He was a T3 sub for like a whole year, and he wound up becoming one of our mods.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I want to try and I want to do something special for this guy, because not only his health isn't like the best, like
Yeah.
he's in kind of a weird health spot when it comes to like, his chronic illness.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to do something really nice for him. And so I got a couple of like our friends to organize essentially a meetup in Washington, DC, around where he used to live. And so we all literally drove out there and like spent a weekend hanging out with him, like in person,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't do for everybody. And I can't do for every T3 sub. But at some points, there's also like, to a certain degree, you have some special exceptions you make for the people that are really close in relationship to you over time.
That is something that's coming to a head, is giving attention to, say, your audience. The disconnect of after a certain point where I guess the whole parasocial relationship aspect of streaming, like you can't be friends with every single person, you know? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming to that head right now where I kind of, I don't, this, like I said, it makes me feel skeevy. Like I have to choose my relationships. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about that whole process?
Oh, what about like trying to keep up with every single individual person?
Yeah.
I said this. I think I said this last time on the call we were with John. It's like,
Yeah.
and I 100% have made a TikTok about this. It's like, you don't owe anybody your time when you're a content creator.
Yeah.
You don't owe anybody. If somebody DMs you, if somebody shoots you a question, if somebody sends me a streamer tips question, and like I am in the middle of doing 15 different things, and I'm shooting 20 videos today, and I have 2 business calls, a call with Uncanny, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm doing. Like I don't have time to get back to all my DMs. Just because you DM somebody doesn't mean that they owe you the time to respond.
Yeah.
And you have to be patient with them. If they choose to respond, it's probably not going to be very prompt.
Yeah.
Um, the people who, a lot of the times I'm finding that the people that I have the best relationships with from Twitch are the people that do just persistently like keep up with me, but not in ways that are like, hey, can you help me with this, 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 and this? It's always like, hey, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? I know you're kind of down last week. And people will reach out and be like, hey, you okay? And the people that care enough to ask those types of questions, and the people that kind of give of themselves in that kind of way, are the same people that I prioritize my time to.
Mm.
Um, it ends up being that the people that I get close with and the people that I click with are more often than not the people that hound me to take care of myself. The people that stay on me to take personal time and to be okay,
Yeah.
and those are the people that I end up valuing their friendship and their relationship so much, because without them keeping me on track, I'd be way less okay than I am. And at that point, it's like, I will do my best to answer DMs. I will do my best to get to people, right? But at the end of the day, I can only do so much. And if I
Yeah.
don't get to you, I'm sorry. The people that I prioritize, though, are the people that not only like hang around and like are supporting it's not always about that. It's about actually being a human with another person and taking the time to check up on your friends. And I think that's something that people in this industry especially are almost scared to do. Like people don't check up with each other, and people don't check on each other, and when people are like wanting to do something with friends, whether it's on stream or off stream, they're always super awkward about it. They'll post that, hey, I'm doing this, but then they won't message anybody. They won't follow up. They'll just post a bunch of announcements in a bunch of different places saying, hey, I'm doing this. And they don't actually follow through on communicating with the people they want to show up that, hey, I want you there. You're valued. That's when events fail. And that's when people all of a sudden feel like they have nobody, is because they're not really putting out any effort. They might put in the effort to put an event together, but they're not putting in the work in the relationships to make something happen.
It's tough. So All right, I'm gonna go on a little rant. I hope this is okay. So this is what I'm finding out with doing the talks and whatnot. Obviously, like we DM'd a little bit. We've talked before. Like we got to talk on John's stream and yada yada. But the fact is, the biggest thing I find with other people trying to start, say, like podcasts and whatnot, my biggest tip, if you will, hey, here's a podcaster tip. If you are setting up working with someone, time and date immediately. You need to know when things are happening. Like you said, some people just like say, "Hey, let's work together," and then post it, and you kind of find out through social media. Like I said earlier, and no slight on Redgrave. Like Redgrave, I really didn't talk to. I had no interaction. Murdoggin DM'd me the day before. He's like, "Hey, we still good?" King Charming DM'd me the day before, and then Redgrave. Once again, sorry, Redgrave, putting you completely on blast because that's what I do. Is there was no like follow up and whatnot, and maybe that's on me too because I put the show together. But I feel like when you're working with other creatives in general, and that I think this is specific to streamers and whatnot, is there has to be a lot of connection, and then it also can get muddy because people think you might be taking advantage of them. I think there's the factor
Mhm.
of also clout chasing. You're scared. Even someone who's asked you personally, like, "How you doing, dude? How you doing?" There's for whatever reason, for some people who have been slighted, there's like, what do you want? There was that whole thing with John. Like John had that TikTok that blew
Mhm.
up because he was like,
Yeah.
"What do you want from me?" So that's still scary. Like it's great that there's those people that you have that check on you daily, but I think in the beginning, depending on how long you've actually known them and if they're consistently around, yes, that's fantastic to have. But it's it's tricky when doing it in this creative atmosphere because you want to have fun. For the
Mhm.
billionth time, streaming should just be this fun camaraderie of people coming together, crossing audiences, getting to know each other, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's for me, you really have to know when setting something up, date and time, you guys, and then communication. Once again, it's a fucking job. Communication. You hear that all the time, and it just blows my mind. But I think that's the
Mhm.
scary part is you don't after a certain point, depending on your audience, you don't know. Have you had anything like that where you've run into
Oh,
people?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, I like I said, I've had times where people check up on me just because they wanna vent about their problems, and or somebody's going through a really, really rough time, and they message me saying, "Hey, you okay? Can we hop on a quick call?"
Yeah,
And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure."
that's
And then
me
it
with
turns into
John.
this huge, like, trauma dump that they've been through, and I've gotten really good at weeding those people out
Yeah.
because I am not emotionally equipped to deal with trauma dumps. I do not do well with it. It makes me feel awkward. I feel like all of a sudden now I need to play school counselor. And when I'm doing that, I dealt with enough of that when I was a teacher. When I was a teacher, I had a kid that literally missed school for a week.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out what was going on. He came in, he's wrapped in bandages all over the place, right? And this is me trauma dumping to everybody in chat, by the way.
No, it's fine. Like I said, I
Yeah.
literally have been doing this to John for a week because he got me fired. Anyway, go on.
But he came in and he's all bandaged up, and we're like, "What's going on? What happened?" And so, I hold him back after class, and I'm like, "You're not leaving this room until you talk about this because you went through something." And I pulled in the assistant principal and the counselor,
Yeah.
and we sat down and we talked with him. And his older brother was in a gang, and he had gone out, and this kid's 13,
Okay.
right?
Oh wow.
His older brother had him drive for a drug run, and the car got shot up in the drug run.
Oh my God.
His older brother died in the passenger seat, and his younger brother got shot up and had to carry his dead brother into their house.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden, now all of us sitting around this kid are like, "This kid's 13. How do we deal with this? And we're adults."
Yeah.
I
Um.
don't, and it's like, how do we handle shit like this? And when I get very, very, it's like, I'm not gonna say I get like flashbacks or whatever, but whenever somebody comes in and they start talking to me about their like childhood traumas and their mental health battles and their personal struggles that are rooted in deep childhood trauma, I'm like, I can't deal with this because I have my own, and I think you should see a therapist instead of talking to me.
It's the
It's
redirect. I know McQueeb. The one night we've had this discussion. This discussion will never go away, I don't think. But there's a prompt. You go, for me personally, I go, this, I'm not that guy. Best thing I can do is be a distraction, but I can't. I wouldn't say I freeze up, but I definitely go, uh, nah, not, I can't
Same.
do. But that's the weird nature of Twitch. Is this is such an easy place to communicate. I mean, I can also go with trolling too. It's such an easy place to troll, but like you can come here finding the attention you think you need or you think you want, and we're not. And you hear it constantly. We're not therapists. We're entertainers, essentially, right?
Hmm.
And we're interactive entertainers. Because like at the end of the day, like say I come home from a really stressful day at work, I want to watch a movie. I want to de-stress. I play a video game. Like
Hmm.
those things are interactive to the point where it's a role playing game. I can put myself in those shoes and I have that interaction. This is like the extra step. This is VR, AR, role playing with a person also playing a video game. I guess I'm just comparing us to like living video games is what I'm doing. And people
Um,
come in and try and like, I'm sorry, that was like a weird tangent.
no, you're fine. I get it. It's I'm not equipped to help people process their trauma. I'm not.
Yeah.
And when people are when people commit, I'm not equipped to deal with that. Like you said, the best I can do is distract people. If I ask somebody in chat, like, hey, how's your day going? They're like, it's rough. I was like, what's going on? They say what's going on. I'm like, okay. And
Yeah.
almost universally, I'll say, okay, let's see if we can help you help distract you from whatever's going on and take your mind off it. Let's play some games. You know, if we want to talk later, you can talk later. We can do what needs to be done, you know,
Yeah.
and make sure that you get the right help you need. But for right now, let's just relax, chill. Let's be friends and hang out and play games. And that's kind of how I deal with that kind of thing. Like, I put the mental health tag on my channel not because I want to necessarily talk about people's specific experiences, but I feel like, whoa, hang on, your camera just stopped.
Did it? Or is
Nope,
that
now it's back. Now it's back.
okay?
Now it's back. Either that or you're like one of those dudes on the corner that's like spray painted silver and like you're like just don't move.
Oh, yeah, it might be my camera. Sorry.
Nah, what was I saying? Again, I get hit in the head a lot. Uh but I can't deal with that. I put the mental health tag on my channel because I want people to be able to talk about mental health as a general concept, and I want
Yeah.
people to be able to talk about mental health in a positive light, and because I want to help people kind of take a step back and have it as a safe space for people that are going through shit to be able to come and distract themselves from the bullshit. But talking about I've found this more often than not. Even if I don't get bothered by somebody trauma dumping in chat, other people in chat can get triggered, and that's a big problem.
That's what I was gonna
Big-
say. Putting those tags on invites people to semi do. Oh my God, Abel just sent a paragraph. Also, what's up, Abel? Do you want me to say who you are? Sorry. Masterclass.
I already know you don't have to put them on blast like that, dude.
Oh, I love it. He hates me. He calls me a boomer. I'm not a fucking boomer.
How old are you?
29.
Oh, we're the same age.
I'm just a
When's your birthday?
January 3rd.
All right, what's your social?
Yeah, I debated. Oh wait, what is? Oh, holy shit! You guys are you're talking too much. Information doxed. Boomers 29 club. Do you think we're too old to be on TikTok? That's the real question. I posted that video the other day of Death Cap. She was like, I felt too old to be on TikTok because I'm 23. And I was like,
Man, I started posting TikToks. I think it was 2 years ago,
yeah,
and I got like, and I popped up on a for you page for one of the people in our Discord, and they blasted it around in Discord, and I got put on blast in the directory for the game I was playing at the time because people thought I was like too old to be on TikTok. That was 2 years ago, so I didn't post again until I think last summer, and that's when I started doing TikTok again. Because it had just like messed with me so much that people just like hated that I did it. And it was literally a Twitch clip where somebody says somebody said something to the line of like in comms on a raid group in Guild Wars 2.
yeah.
Somebody said like boobs are just chest ass. Which immediately is a sound clip for TikTok. right?
Yeah.
And that literally 2 years ago was the first video I ever put on TikTok, and it got like 100,000 views on it because it was just
Mm.
stupid fucking line like that.
Dude, low effort, high reward. Low
And
effort,
like,
high reward, baby.
and I was just like, oh, this is not what I want to be known for. Bye. And so I checked out until last summer when, funnily enough, I was down in Florida again. And Nerd Smash in chat, literally, he's one of my good IRL friends now. Like,
Yeah.
we met through Twitch, and I literally just like, because I get around in real life to people that I know on the internet, I ended up we ended up being really good IRL friends. And so he was doing cosplay TikTok because he does cosplay stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, he was like, you got to try this. You got to try. You're this is right up your alley. And I was like, I already tried that. And he was like, do it again. And
Dude,
so I did. And here we are.
TikTok has been. I was also one of the hesitant ones to go to TikTok. I was like, this is an app for dancing kids, blah blah blah. And I don't remember what that click was where I finally got on there and got involved in. I basically I weaseled my way into Twitch talk. Let's be completely honest. And I got to know all of you guys. And when I first got there, I was just like, who the fuck are all these people? Because I came in from like toxic communities, and it kind of I read everything. I mean, shit. Once again, my first entry into TikTok was me dogging on Caliente. So hey, it is what it is. I've been calling out since the beginning. But then I got there and I realized there's this subreddit, if you will, of creatives, and it's been amazing. Like, my audience is streamers, and once again, I'm okay with that, but it's TikTok has just been so powerful with that, even with the bad algorithm, because I know the algorithm before was more forgiving, I guess. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. No, as soon as the new year hit, it was like everybody and their mother was like, what happened? Am I not entertaining? Am I shadow banned?
Dude, I'm a recovering troll. I am a recovering troll. I'm trying to be better. I know. I haven't done call outs. That is I hear that constantly now. My views are low. My views are low. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And that is really frustrating to me, because I've gotten to the point now where I think I've mentioned it before. Any view it means a lot. I don't think. Do you think there's an algorithm problem? Like, views just don't hit because TikTok doesn't want them to?
No, I think it's just that it's not about necessary content, the content you're making conceptually.
Yeah.
A lot of times I find that if I don't do it, if one of my videos doesn't perform, it's because of poor execution. I can have a great idea, but if I don't actually put it together well, like I did a video where it was Ocarina of Time in under 1 minute, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like super freaking proud of it, and I thought it was really good. And then, all of a sudden it's like, comparatively to my other videos, it really didn't do well at all. And that can be a combination of things. That can be hashtags, and that can be, the length of videos are under a minute. It's a minute long, right, on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's not going to perform as well as some other kinds of content. But my execution of it was a little sloppy because I was speeding through lines and I wasn't talking like clearly at some points because I was trying to fit so much information in. And I made a couple jumps in logic that weren't necessarily the best for narrative storytelling. And that's all stuff that I had to learn and take back. And I had to get through the initial punch of, I worked really hard on this thing and it didn't go over well. How do I grow from that? And then I did Apex in under a minute, and the Apex one did remarkably well.
Yeah.
And, even it's like, you have to watch your content and consume your own content in order to better your own content. And if you're not necessarily doing as well as you used to be on TikTok, yeah, to a certain degree, there is a certain amount of like level you can blame the algorithm per se, because maybe you're just not getting shown to enough people. But like, but the way it works is like, if you have a certain follower count, you get a default number of showings.
Yeah.
Like you will show up on 400 people's For You page, or if you're like, I don't know what the levels are. I'm just gonna talk out my ass for a second.
This isn't this is all theory. Go on.
Yeah, this is all theory. It's based on stuff that I've noticed,
Yeah.
looking at trends and analytics.
Yeah.
But like, for me, I have 100 and some odd thousand followers on TikTok. I usually get a default For You act. I usually get by default shown to 400 people.
Yeah.
And depending on how those 400 people interact with the content, and it's always 400 people that do not follow you. It's 400 fresh faces.
Ooh.
That's a thing. It's always 400 fresh faces. You might show up on people's For You page that follow you,
Yeah.
but those don't count towards this number. Like those don't count towards this number. This number is the number of people that are by default shown your content that haven't seen it before, and how those people interact with it is how it's pushed.
Yeah. I live on the follower page. Like, I very rarely go to the For You page. On occasion, when I hear there's a little bit of drama, like recently, I think it was the schedule thing. There was someone going around talking about like how you have to live by a schedule to stream. I think that was like the semi most recent. There's also, I don't know if you guys saw the blowing up streamers dudes. Basically asked for an interview because they're like, we want to talk. We don't understand why we're getting so much hate because they use their the headphone thing. Blah blah blah. Blah blah. Off topic. Anyway, I usually stick on the follower page. So usually I try and keep up with all of the creators. I try and cultivate, or whatever the word is, because English is hard. My follower page, because I like those creators. I like interacting with you guys. I want to see your stuff. That's usually why I'm one of the first people. I'm sorry, guys. I'm always on the apps. If I post within the first second, curate. Thank you, Kat. I curate my content. I create my follower page, but the idea that your content goes out to fresh faces seems super stressful, but I guess that's a good reason to not be upset, because you can't please everyone. It's super subjective, especially if it goes out to an audience that isn't yours, which I think TikTok might want to do,
Mm-hmm. And it depends on the hashtags. If you change your hashtags every other video, like a lot of my hashtags end up being very video game specific.
Yeah.
And depending on whether or not there's even a market for the game I made a video on. I made one on fucking whether or not you should play the new Ratchet and Clank game today, and I knew it wasn't going to do well because it's a tiny fucking group of people that like it, but I made it because I like the series.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to underperform, but like,
I mean, that series that you started doing, when you did the Halo one, because I love Halo, I was like, this is the content you need to experiment with, your AB like stuff. I think it's great, but it's the type of thing where, because it's a different game each time, it's not necessarily going to hit, but it's that testing and whatnot. Also, I'm learning about Apex that I knew nothing about, so keep doing those.
Oh yeah, dude, those. Oh my.
What? What?
Oh, comment section on that video from yesterday is making
for
my fucking hair out. Bloodhound.
Is it because of the whole what
dude,
he had?
It's literally because of it's because I told people they should refer to them as they them.
I don't get it.
Why do people have to die on a hill that they have nothing to do with?
Yeah, especially because, one, hey, guess what? And this isn't to like devalue people. It's made up, so it's in a book. Like, these creators said, this is what it is. You don't like. There's no going back and forth. There's no argument. This is what the character is. We've written this into lore, and it's so crazy that hill that people, or that battle that people want to have. It's just like, first of all, what? Who cares? Like, once again, not to be like, who cares, but like, who, that's so weird to me.
If it's not your issue, why do you care so much to battle it out with people who care?
Yeah.
It's like telling a Star Wars fan if Luke Skywalker was non-binary and they referred to him as they, them in the original trilogy, would diehard fans of Star Wars still fight people? Would you feel the same way if it was Star Wars? Would you feel the same way if it was, Game of Thrones is a bit dated now, but Game of Thrones, whatever it is, whatever fandom you're part of, whatever you like. What if one of your professional athletes is, gay or non-binary? Like, are you going to talk down to them because of, there's literally a pro football player who has I don't remember his name. I don't follow a lot of football. But like, there's a gay professional football player who has a TikTok who talks about his personal life as a gay man in the professional football league.
Yeah.
And it's like, people in marginalized communities need role models and need representation to look up to, because like, I'm a cis white male. If I want to look up to people, or if I want to find representation in media, I literally can throw a dart at a bookshelf in a public library and I'd find something.
It's
right?
True.
Like, if I want to look up to Captain America and identify with, I can, right? But why shit on the representation that means so much to a marginalized community like Bloodhound is for non-binary people in Apex, just because you want to be right? Like, I feel like that says a whole lot more about you than it does about anybody that puts stock in that character.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But it's so fascinating that that's what that video, like you were just telling a story that has already been told, and they decided to go into your video and create this. How do you feel about delegating, or not delegating, whatever word I'm trying to look for in your comment section, like making sure your comment section doesn't get out of control? Because I know Corporate Brit, before he took his break, I think his last video was talking about how, I think it was the hot tub streamer situation, where you can talk about the subject or maybe make fun of it, but you have to be sure that you watch your comments and kind of make sure nothing goes down. Like, do you spend time in your comment sections?
I do until it hits a certain point, and at a certain point, I can't keep. If I literally, it's gotten to the point where in the last 24 hours, if I look at my phone, I have the 99 plus notifications
Oh,
with like 500 comments, and it's like, yeah,
dude,
I can't monitor. I can't moderate that.
getting off of this always stresses me out because I go, what, 4-ish hours without looking at my phone, and that, usually I only go like 10 seconds. So yeah, I can only imagine. It,
Yeah, so it's like I can't moderate that. What I can do is make my opinion publicly known. I can make a video, I can come on this podcast, I can talk about it, I can bring it up and
yeah,
make it known that all those motherfuckers in that chat that are saying all that shit,
yeah,
like, I don't want them around.
yeah.
Thanks for the algorithm promo, but you can fuck off.
That's the thing. It's no, that was when I first talked to. Also, real quick, Shade. It's just canonical. God, literally English. It's within the lore that Bloodhound is non-binary, and people are upset
Mhm.
about it. That's
It's
that's
literally there was a tweet put out, like, for example, yeah, there was a tweet put out with a video from one of the lead story directors,
yeah,
talking about how, for example, Valkyrie, the new hero coming out, is lesbian.
yeah,
And how if you don't like that Bloodhound's non-binary, if you don't like that Gibraltar's gay, if you don't like that Valkyrie is a lesbian,
yeah,
they don't want you play. They're like, you can just not play our game.
yeah,
Like, and they're like, our goal, we launched with like two strong black women in our roster
yeah,
because we want to be a company that gives representation to underrepresented communities,
yeah,
and that's something that's really admirable, and I think that it's something to be commended.
yeah.
And I don't think that, man, I'm telling you what, it's there's a certain percentage of people on TikTok that are, and there's a guy that does videos where it's like Gen X versus millennials versus Gen Z versus whatever the fuck comes next. And
Yeah, I think
like
I've
they're
seen
like
that. Yeah,
relating to each other, and it's like the Gen Zer is always making fun of the millennial for drinking too much and shit. It's like I feel like there's just such a big disconnect between the little kids that are now all of a sudden getting a smartphone and they're 13 and they're signing up for TikTok and
yeah.
watching videos, and they're like me, and they're just saying whatever they want. And I feel like 90% of those comments are just ignorant little fucking children because that's how the kids that I taught acted. And so I just assume they just assume they're kids.
It's it's kind of true. I think for the most part, my audience, hey Abel, is that true? Like Abel's the youngest person, and Abel's 18. Going like I don't really have these talks. Don't necessarily garner a younger audience. I don't think so. It's interesting that that's just the case. Is it just simply an immaturity thing that also does?
I hope so. In some of the cases it's not. You know, I in then you end up getting spending so much time just battling with people in comments, and it gives you anxiety, and it's like, to a certain degree, I want to you should, I feel like if something pops off and if something happens and if all of a sudden there's a conversation started, I feel like it's my responsibility as the creator who created all of a sudden this discussion in this comments section to address
Yeah,
what's going on and make my stance known on it. But I'm not going to engage with people that are, I'm not going to say that disagree with me, but I'm not going to engage with people like that because I don't want them. One, I don't want to give them a platform,
yeah,
and two, like, why it's like I'm not going to change their mind, right? I am not somebody like I don't think that I would be able to change a troll on the internet's mind. Like, I could have a conversation, it could plant a seed, I could be watering a seed, I could be doing whatever it is to eventually make them into a better person. But like, I can't do that with every single comment. I can't do that with every single person. All I can do is try to make my broad stance known. And if I all of a sudden start popping off in comments,
yeah.
it's just going to create a bad precedent.
That's actually Sleepwalker brought up. What angers me as creators, especially those who are partnered making jokes. I don't think partner or not, making jokes and liking the comments being nasty slash toxic towards women, and not just women, like anything topical
Mm.
like that. it's a tricky sense because there have been moments where I've had trolls in my comment sections. Like I posted that video about, I posted a couple of hot topics. The main one way back was when I talked to Lexi about just the difference in like women streamers and men streamers and like statistics and blah blah blah. Which by the way, never use the word statistics in any of your fucking videos, you guys, because hey, it doesn't matter if you do have statistics, they're not right. But there were people in those
There'll
comments.
always be a study that that contradicts what you say
Yeah,
every single time.
yeah. And the thing is, like, I went into that comment section because that was my first viral video, and I tried to have a conversation with everyone because I love the idea of doing just that, changing someone's mind, changing that troll's mind. And I did that for a couple people, but the reality is that doesn't mean they've actually, like, you might come to an understanding, or I might have, say, someone who I disagree with on this show, and we kind of agree to disagree, or we come to that pass, or it might change their mind, and that feels good. But it's just you can't rely on that. They still might have other things. They still might just as quickly turn around. So you have to, I don't know, delegating comment sections is tricky, and you also have people just judging you regardless because you don't
Mhm.
respond. Like you can't win either way, I guess is what I'm saying, and that sucks.
And that's part of why it's like I think it's important to make like I think it's important to make a stance known and to not be private about what you believe and what you think. But to the same token, it's like I'm not going to, and that's the thing. I'm not going to just like battle it out in the comments section. There's literally enough of that going on in that comment section.
Yeah.
Like there's so much infighting back and forth about what people think and what people are saying to each other that it doesn't matter if there's logic. It doesn't matter because people think with emotion. People don't argue with logic in a standard in any kind of debate format that is outside of like actual professional debate.
Yeah.
It's pure emotion, and people don't care whether or not you're right. People don't care whether or not you have sound logic. They just don't want to be wrong, and they'll refuse to be wrong. And you might get the golden person to talk to that they are not that way, but it's certainly not the majority. And you can't really pick and choose through a comments section who you're going to try and talk to that way because there's no way to tell.
Yeah. And that's something I'm learning to disconnect with. Unfortunately, as shit. Like I would respond to every. I'd like it. Actually, I got caught. To keep track of conversations, I used to just like every single comment, so I knew what.
Oh no.
I know. And one time, Unstable Pisces came in and be like, "Why'd you like this comment?" And I was like, "To be completely honest, it's just I ghost like shit." But yeah, you can't at this after a certain point you have to ignore shit. I mean, there was another topic was he deleted his VOD so we couldn't get him. Oh, you guys talking Teeny Giant brought up an instance where a dude used the tag. Taking advantage of tags, which is insane. But the other video was I had with Hey Schmitty, we talked about mansplaining. And people got heated about the word mansplaining, and I didn't take part in the comment section. And I felt kind of bad because it was with two creators who I've sort of built a relationship with, and it's like I didn't want to take it. Like I had a side I wanted to take, but it's like, do I step in and be like, "Hey guys, like, can we find a middle
Do you want
point?"
to mansplain about mansplaining?
Dude,
No, I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't have said shit. I'm like, I'm literally going to like more than likely if I step in and try to talk about it,
yeah,
I'm gonna end up doing the thing that I don't want to do. So like I'm just not. I'm just gonna be like, look, respect y'all. I'm gonna step away because if I don't want to take away from the conversation from a conversation that is between people that people will have more value hearing hearing you guys have that conversation than me saying anything about it because it's not my place to talk.
yeah. It's tricky. Like I have my opinions, obviously, because I have my opinions. But yeah, in that comment section, that was the first time I said, you know what, if I have to, I might delete something, which also is kind of a whole situation. But I'm gonna let it play out. And it was like 80 comments of just different people being like, well, this, and I'm just like, oh, it's like somebody's in another room of your house, and they're like yelling. And you're like, should I just like kind of let it work itself out, or should I step in? It's stressful.
Yep.
Sorry guys, I feel like I'm ignoring chat. Is everybody in chat okay? Does anybody have any questions for Noct? I feel
You
like
guys need some water. Can we get you a glass of water?
Yeah.
You need to hydrate.
Do you guys
Can you
need?
all everybody spam the hydrate command so Jordan has to pee his pants?
Oh shit, I have that again. Ooh, wait. Somebody did random meme. I have a random, do I have channel points again? Like what the fuck? Like I don't even, what is being affiliate, you know? I've forgotten.
I've been racking them up since I got here.
Oh god. I gotta change. Oh wait, do I still have the bald stream? Is that still in there? Is that still one of the channel points? Is bald stream? Sayora, what's up? Les? Damn, all these
Yep,
killers.
100,000 points.
Oh no, that's it? Oh, that needs to be higher.
To what? Take off your hat?
Yeah, to literally just take off my hat.
Do you shave your head, or is bald a choice?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Ad time. All right, we're gonna play it. We're gonna play an ad because we're doing ad time. 1 minute, everybody. Stick around. If you're think about using your Prime subscription or subbing to the channel. It helps me feed my Cinnabon addiction and also give you no ads. An ad.
Didn't Cinnabon follow you on TikTok?
They've followed me on. They better be gay. I have no control of the ads. Twitch needs to get their ads straight, places. Cinnabon did follow me. Actually, that's a big thing, talking about like streaming and being a job. I need to put together a media kit because I'd love to work with just like off the cuff companies and like I guess podcasting companies. I mean, you have Uncanny. What was that process like working with those guys and I guess other companies and sponsors and whatnot?
Do we want to wait for the ad to be over?
Yes.
I can't tell if...
Yeah, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool.
I see, but why redeem ad time? No ad for me. Gay ads only. Twitch better not get their ads straight. Oh my god. Yeah, we have 19 seconds. I mean, that's good. Dude, that's what I loved about not being one of the things about not being affiliate is I didn't have to worry about that shit. It was just you come in.
I don't even play ads, dude. I never play ads. I do have pre-rolls on, but like
Yeah.
I don't run mid-rolls ever.
I've been told in between like the guests, that's a great time because it turns off, but it sucks because like I said, it was so nice being unaffiliated and people could come in and just stick in the show. There was no interruptions. And I mean, shit, I don't even have alerts on. Like that's how little interruptions I kind of want. But
maybe you can tell me something because it used to be that whether or not you were affiliate, it didn't matter. Pre-roll ads unless you turn them, and it would always play.
Commercials, dude.
And Twitch would just take the ad revenue. It wasn't until a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that Twitch even gave us access to ad revenue. Like they would just play ads on our stuff and take that money anyway.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't even, we didn't even have control of ads and when ads would play until like a year and a half ago.
I'm not anybody who's been around for a little bit. Did you guys run into ads when I was unaffiliated? Kyle Driver, what's up, dude?
Hi, Kyle.
Also hello to everybody I didn't say hi to. Micromanager, what's up? Night Owl, I saw Pixie in earlier. Strange, shouts out Strange, Patreon member.
Okay, that might not be a thing anymore. Also, Cat. That might not be a thing anymore. But yeah, it was definitely a thing before. Like you didn't monetize your ads. Like the only people that got to monetize ads were partners, and you have and you always had pre-rolls regardless of whether you were affiliated or not.
Yeah, but that was it was nice because people could come in, watch the show, no interruptions, and now it's kind of like there's that extra thing that kind of jumps in. Man, don't make me regret getting back on affiliate.
Well, you don't make anything from ad revenue anyway,
and that's the other shitty thing.
Like that's the thing. If I'm only gonna make $1 if I play ads on my stream over the course of a month, it's just not worth. It's not worth it. Like you'd need to make it worth it. I'd have to be making in like the high tens, maybe lower hundreds to play ads before I would run any kind of like mid-roll ad. And like now that I don't even know if I'm gonna have to look, but I'm not even sure if there's an option to turn them off entirely.
Yeah.
I mean, it does give like subs a perk, sure, but like I just run pre-roll ads because I haven't even really looked into the options to be that heavily.
Ooh,
but it doesn't make me anything. Like,
yes, you got ads when you weren't affiliated. Is that Final Harps? Double confirmation. I need at least 2 people to be sure. Final Harps, I do believe you, but if you guys got ads before, then I'll feel a lot less bad. Even pre-roll ads became poop. I used to do mid-roll. Anyway, jumping back, we were talking about getting sponsors and stuff. So, because you've been at this for a while, I know, dude, the because I have one too. I got
Hmm.
that thing is wild. I was debating buying one of those, but I ended up getting this thing on sale. That thing's
Yeah, no, it's wild, dude. It's literally like I flick my fingers like back and forth and down, and that's how I like play games now.
oh,
Like
do you prefer that over the keyboard?
100%. I'll never go back.
I use people hate me. I use a left Joy-Con as my keyboard. Yeah. Uh-huh. I was playing Call of Duty the other night with John, and I do this. This is WASD, and then I just keybind to these ones, and then clicky clicky, and that's what I do, and it gets me through every game.
You
And then I
fucking mad.
and then I have my I'm a crazy person. How do I unsub now? Hey man, I just want to be comfortable. But anyway, how do you go about those things? Did you reach out to them? Like, what's the whole?
The only sponsor that I have reached out to was the company that makes these hand pads.
Really?
Yeah. I reached out to them and I was like, hey, these are the analytics that I get when I typically run paid promos. I'd like to do one for your company. I use hand pads pretty much exclusively. Could you send me a review sample? And based on the performance of that video, maybe we could come up with some kind of business relationship.
Yeah.
So then they emailed back and they're like, we appreciate your interest in our company. Can you send us some information on your channels? Can you send us some third-party sources of your channel's analytics? And can you link them to us so we can look them up? They don't want screenshots because,
Yeah.
people are shady. So I sent them all my information. They're like, hey, we like what we see. We'll send you out a review sample, make the video, and then we'll talk. And so I made the video. The video did well. And so now we're working together in a more beneficial to both parties capacity. The sponsors that I've worked with over time, I like a lot of new content creators when I was first, trying to make it as a full-time, trying to pay the bills,
Yeah.
fell into the trap of affiliate ships. Affiliate ships are trash.
Oh, dude.
You should never settle for doing an affiliate ship. You will never make back what you put into it. It's like your mom selling Mary Kay, but you're hawking G Fuel. Like,
Okay.
I'm just saying.
No, I agree. When I first got into streaming, I ended up with an affiliate ship thing with just like a discount code. I was like, oh my god, I can start making money. Like they make it so available, and it's skeevy. It's so grifty. There's so much griftiness. Um, I the G Fuel thing. Here's the thing: does it by having those, even though you're being taken advantage of in a way, it's still a
Does it
bad.
lend credibility?
That's the thing. Having that G Fuel tag, like I'm an affiliate of some sense, does it add any credibility to someone else because you've worked with another company?
When I see it, I look at somebody like, you poor soul.
I mean, same.
Like, I literally say, like, I'm not going to work with, like, I might use a X energy supplement or whatever.
Yeah.
I might use, in personally something. I might like something. I'm not going to promote it unless it is a mutually beneficial relationship. And fortunately, I've got one of those coming up, that it's going to be a mutually beneficial relationship with a company that has worked with a couple of my partner friends. And I'm going to be working with them on some stuff in that space. But they approached me.
Yeah.
I didn't approach them. I didn't apply for any partnerships. When it comes to companies that do affiliate ships and have applications for that kind of thing, it's always better for them to reach out to you, because then you already know that they know you can bring considerable value. Somebody's investing their time and trying to get you to work with them. So they reached out to me. There was, there's a certain level of that I already use this thing.
Real quick, I know that there's people in here that use G Fuel. I'm not attacking G Fuel. If you're an affiliate, like, I think we attacked like half the audience, by the way.
Whatever.
Sayora, I'm sorry. I don't know who else does G Fuel. No, G Fuel sucks. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Anyway, go on. I interrupted.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong. I mean, I can't use G Fuel. It's got something in it that makes my heart race, and I have a heart condition.
Yeah.
So like, it's something that I can't use.
Yeah.
So like, I while I respect the hustle per se,
yeah,
of people that try to sell it, and I don't think any less of anybody that uses it. I mean, like I said, I use something that I have energy drinks that I consume as well, but like at the same time, people should know that when somebody has that code up
Yeah.
and they are an affiliate of some company, it's people are going to see that different ways, and they shouldn't make a business decision based on perceived clout. You're not going to get any by having a G Fuel clout code. You don't automatically get clout, right? It's more often than not not more often than not, but at least personally, when I see it,
Yeah.
I see it as unless you're in a partnership with them,
Yeah.
then you're getting taken advantage of.
Do you think it's only because we're in the space that we kind of think that way? Do you think outside of other streamers who know about the whole G Fuel situation?
Outside of the space, it's probably lends credibility. I just don't see it that way.
I think we're kind of jaded in that sense.
Yeah.
Like immediately going in, like I said, I think it was called like Pyre or something like that. It was just another random like energy drink gamer fuel sort of thing. But I was just like, oh, I get an affiliate code. This legitimate makes me legit. I'm too legit. I'm too legit to quit. And like, I'm a real streamer, and it's cool to have those. I don't think it necessarily hurts, but I think the kicker was somebody mentioned, as long as you're not forced to buy the product. Like you kind of get tricked in a way, if you ask me, of buying the
How are we
product.
supposed to promote it if you're not using it?
I can still have the code.
You can have the code, but if you're not using it, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're drinking G Fuel in that mug?" Sure.
I could lie.
Like I could just lie to your face
That
and
is-
try to take your money, but then what kind?
I'm trying to play devil's advocate here.
Is that the kind of content creator that you want to be?
Yeah, hold on. What was who got added? If the company reaches out to you, then you have the real negotiation power in the deal. That yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's way better when the company reaches out to you. And for example, we were talking about Uncanny, right? Uncanny, for those of you that it's it's ex-NASA rocket scientists designing an artificial intelligence to watch Twitch streams.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's people that is a Oxford PhD with 10 years NASA tenure is the CTO, right? Designing artificial intelligence to basically automate stream production.
Yeah.
So if you're a streamer and you play a game that's supported, you don't need to. And honestly, it's going to get to the point where it doesn't even matter what game you're playing. You can automate your production. You can automate whatever it is. I'm not going to get into details of what's going on, but it'll basically you won't need a stream deck. You're not going to need to, have OBS on the front page of your third monitor or whatever it is to switch between scenes or run effects or doing anything else. All of that's going to be done automatically.
Yeah.
Based on things that happen on stream and on stream triggers. So it takes things like that. And they reached out to me and were like, hey, we want to work with, hang on.
No, you're good.
We want to work with you and we want to do, a paid promo. We're starting our we're starting our closed beta program. We want to get people to sign up. This is our product. What do you think? And I was like, I've been in the space a long time. And this is one of the first things that I've seen in years that could potentially revolutionize the space, that could potentially take streamers that have a hard time with the technical part of production and put in their hands a tool that takes away that weakness so they can emphasize their strength in entertaining. They don't have to worry about production. They can just do what they're good at. Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, sure, I'll jump in. I'll do a promo, and we did a deal. We did three videos over the month of December. And, the analytics were really good from that promotion. And so after that, they were like, hey, look, we're still really small. We don't really have anybody on our team that's not a super big brain scientist engineer and knows anything about social media. Would you be willing to come to the table to potentially work for us? And I was like, sure. What do you have to offer? And we entered negotiations and I wound up I direct all their social media channels.
Yeah.
That's the growth of that relationship. And that's some of the doors that content creation can open, giving you income that can, not only make you because you never want to be solely dependent on Twitch. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket. It gives you income that's a lot more. It gives me income that's a lot more stable than depending on subs and bits every month.
That's
right.
That's one of my favorite things is when people find a way to use their stream to invest in something outside of streaming. It's exactly that thing. It's what Harris Heller mentioned, that so many people can't jump platform because all of their money, all of their time has been put right into that stream on Twitch. So that's why so many people can't be that trendsetter, make that jump to YouTube gaming and try and give it a chance. Though they can technically, like I mentioned before, they could do like off days, but for the most part, it's all in on Twitch. They've just done such a good job. At, oh man, I feel like Devin Nash. I harp on the platform that I'm on now. It's like Twitch sucks, but I'm here.
I don't. Here's the every platform is going to have just like every platform is a in the same way that we have to try and find what's unique about us. Every platform is trying to find out how to keep people there,
Yeah,
right? And all of them have different tools that they will give you to be able to succeed. But at the end of the day,
yeah.
if your content's not good, it won't, regardless of discoverability. So whether in this was one thing that I was battling with for a minute. I don't know if you know what Gilded is.
Oh, yep. That's yeah.
So Gilded is like a new Discord competitor, right?
Yep.
On one of the stream teams I'm a part of, the person who runs that stream team is a partner with Gilded, and he was trying to get people to like move over to Gilded, right? And I've got 1,000 odd people in a Discord server that's fully built out and like running smoothly, has all these bots running and has everything going well, and it has great analytics, and I like where everything's at, and it's very lively. It's in I don't feel like there's enough benefit inherently for me to switch platforms from Discord to Gilded, for example,
Yeah.
because that's gonna it's gonna push people away, because now all of a sudden they're gonna have to download a new app. They're gonna have to go outside of what their normal habits are and what they normally check on their phone to just check on this thing. And at that point, sure, I want to believe that my community and that my content is worth it,
Yeah.
but a lot of people fall off at that point because it's really hard to get people to change their habits. They'll download it and they'll check it out initially, but
the click-through rate on anything is hard. I ended up I had my website because I love my website as my click on TikTok, and now it's just my Twitch link because I know people are just that this is where I need to lead them. So yeah, getting people to change a platform, I don't get it. It sucks.
like when I was suspended back in December, I did a
I remember that.
I did a stream I did one stream on YouTube, I did one stream on Facebook, and I did one stream on TikTok. Just to figure out, just to see like what the numbers would be if I was telling people where I was going to be and this is what I was going to do. Dude, I like 5 people filtered through that Facebook stream maybe in total, and they were all people that I all of a sudden knew their real names.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like it was weird, man, and I was not about it. And their back end straight up looks like Facebook from 2008. Like it's gross. Like when I tried the YouTube one, it was way better on YouTube, sure, but like at least the conversion rate was, but it was nowhere near what it would be if I just went live on my normal Twitch channel, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to, at the end of the day, evaluate, is it worth potentially taking that dip? And the newer you are and the smaller your audience is, the easier time you're going to have making a switch. I'm so embedded in Twitch and I'm so embedded in Discord after 6 years of running everything here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not worth it to me to do to change it up at all, because the amount of relearning I'd have to do at this point would be astronomical. And so it's like I literally got a, hang on.
No, you're good.
I got an email from a, oh God, this is, hang on, let me find it here.
You're good. Take your time. I'll catch up with chat. Thank you real quick to Ghost. Thank you for the bits. I appreciate you. Yes, Decaf, I am back on affiliate. We are. Hey, holy shit. Hell yeah, you guys. Thanks for fucking hanging out. Hey, guess what, guys? I am watching my viewer count, and you're all fucking amazing, and I love you. Please. Oh, over on TikTok. Everybody over on TikTok. Will, thanks for hanging out on TikTok. I am also still live on TikTok. I refuse to be a rule follower. I am breaking the rules. It doesn't matter.
I don't think you're breaking any rules by having your face cam on TikTok.
It's technically most of the feed. Like I'm using Lula TV, so it's like.
Oh, right. No, it's a different format. It's in vertical.
It's a different format.
It's different format. That doesn't count. Man, I've got that's another thing. All right, long story. I got an email from a social media management company saying that they wanted to make a deal to have me switch my entire audience to Facebook.
Really?
And they would pay me X amount of money to switch my entire audience to Facebook and be a Facebook partner.
Ooh. That's not worth it. Like, I mean, you don't have to say, but how much money are we talking?
It was like $2,000.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
So I'm like, no,
No.
not a chance.
Did
No.
you do the test after you got that email, or did you do that test
That was
before?
recent. That was in this last month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm like,
okay. Yeah.
no, I'm not going to do that. Like,
Holy crap.
I'm like, bro, not a freaking chance. Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, to completely change.
No.
I mean, what do partners on Facebook even get in comparison to, say, like a Twitch partner?
It's a I think I'd have to look at it again,
Yeah,
but you do make a higher percentage of the total revenue. But that's the thing though, is that, and people don't realize this, that yeah, you don't make as much money on Twitch as an affiliate, but when you're a partner, you have a partner rep that you can negotiate your percentages of.
yeah,
Depending on how much revenue and what your sub points are, and depending on your situation when it comes to making money for Twitch, you can make your situation more mutually beneficial negotiating for your partner rep.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like not even a lot of like partners even try to do that.
Yeah.
Like they don't even realize that that's something that partner rep is there for. You can be like, hey, look, I made this much money with my subs this month. I brought in this many subs.
Yep.
I'm bringing this much activity to Twitch. However, there's other opportunities on other platforms, and I want to try to, maximize the amount of income I can bring in to pay my bills.
Yep.
And you come to you bring the negotiations to them and start trying, actively make it a conversation. Just because this is something that this is just a life thing, but like the more scared you are to try something because of the potential of failure, the less likely. I mean, it's never going to happen unless you go out there and do it.
Yep.
So like, if you write off your potential for negotiating off the gate because you're like, oh, they're not going to listen to me. Oh, my sub count's too low. Oh, I'm nobody here. I mean, if you're already in a partnered position,
Yeah.
you are somebody, and you are somebody that they have trusted with the platform, and you're somebody they will listen to.
Yeah.
So it's worth it regardless of count to try to start the negotiation.
That's the thing. You have to apply to get a partner. Like it's more of a process than affiliate. The affiliate, you have to hit a couple numbers. Like, once again, not to devalue affiliates, but you have to apply for a partner. You get denied partner. So yeah, I think it's one of those things of knowing your value. We have those conversations a lot of even no matter what size. I think you should kind of sort of be aware of what your time is worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
always.
And a lot of people struggle with that because again, it goes into
and that's why people are like, hey, should I try to grow on Facebook or YouTube instead of Twitch because you can make more money there? And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, in the short term, sure. I mean, how long are you talking here? Are you talking about blowing up to huge numbers? And then, are you talking about, just something that you can do as a side hustle? How much money is more money that you're going to make? If you're making a 60-40 split instead of a 50-50 split on 20 subs, how much more are we really talking? And is it worth it to change platforms? If you're a smaller streamer, stick with the platform. I think people should go where the credibility is.
Yeah.
And I don't think Facebook has really any credibility to speak of as a gaming platform. I'm sorry, maybe it will eventually. It's still growing, but I don't think it does. Like, it just doesn't lend itself any credibility because not only is it Facebook and you have the, Zucker lizard running everything, but like it's the platform that I keep because if I don't get rid of it, my family will guilt me.
No, it's true.
Like, is that really the market that you think you're going to be able to hit an audience on?
That's literally what they thought. Well, first of all, they threw barely any money at the streaming. They just thought, oh, we can get into the space because we already do everything. And then you can bank on the fact that we've been around for forever, and you assumingly have an audience of people you already know that will watch you and then tip through our system and all that stuff. The idea was The discoverability is the network you've already created. Here's the deal. I didn't like people in high school, so I didn't friend anybody. So I don't have any friends on Facebook.
Not to mention, if you're, I'm not gonna lie, I got my friends. My grandma's my friend on my Facebook page, right? Do I want my grandma, like sweet little old lady on the beach in Virginia, listening in to me cussing up like a sailor, like yelling at a horror game and seeing somebody getting their head ripped off with their spine in Mortal Kombat or some shit? Like, no, she doesn't want to see that, and it's gonna be on her page because we're family, and that's how that works. It's gonna show you people who you have the tightest connect. It's gonna show you to people who you have the tightest connections with.
Yep.
Which is going to be family first. And do I want them to see that? No. Does my grandpa still come watch my Twitch channel? Yes. But he chooses to.
Oh, that's funny. Does your I assume your family has been supporting the fact that
Not at first.
Well,
that was rough. But yeah, now it's especially because I'm married. So like, convincing the in-laws that I was making a sound financial decision, quitting my job that I went to college for to start streaming full time. That was rough. That was rough.
I can't. Okay. I keep saying I'm going to get a quote unquote real job. Yes, stream is a real job. You know what I mean? But the more I do this, the more I can invest time in this. And because I have such a great, pretty much my For You pages, my following. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you guys for coming out. But like, I built something. I'm like, I could do this, but also like, what will people think? There's still that thing. Cause there are people that don't consider this a real job, maybe because it's unstable in certain senses, or just conventionally speaking, like I've worked in my resume. I put my resume together and it was just like manual labor, merchandising. And then all of a sudden my other experiences, like social media, I fluffed it as like social media marketing, community management. I learned it through Cat the Mao, but it's like, what do I do? Like, I don't know will people, other jobs though, from what I've learned from Cat, judge me in a sense, because that it's this weird disconnect that I don't know
how well can you sell yourself?
Pretty well. I don't know. I think
sell yourself. Like if you can sell it on this, if you can sell soft skills and practical application of what you've learned in streaming and small business ownership to a company that you're trying to get another job at, then you can 100% that, like, they're not going to look at it as you stream video games on the internet. They're going to look at you as, oh shit, you can do this, and this. This is what comes into this. Oh, this is a nice surprise. And it's going to set you apart. It's not going to be a detriment.
That's what I'm hoping. Like I've put together, once again, the thing I loved about streaming is all the work, the kicker about Twitch, which I've said before. Also, Abel, I will 100% sell you a pen. It'll be the best pen you've ever had. It will do more than you could ever imagine. The kicker about Twitch is,
you just literally gave every Kickstarter MMO's pitch, like ever. We're gonna build you the best MMO ever,
dude,
for $7,000.
And
we're going to deliver it in like 3 years, and you're going to get a full game that you'll be able to play for the rest of your life. This is going to be the WoW killer. We just need $7,000.
It's what is it? The space game. God, why can't I think of the space game off the top of my head? Star something. Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. Mm-hmm.
That's it. The game that's.
I'm thinking more Chronicles of Illyria, but
that's another good one. that is another one. WoW killer. If I had $1. But no, that's the thing. Like, I can talk about selling yourself. The kicker about Twitch is, because they don't really help you grow on their platform, all the work that I've put in is just that. I've worked to garner an audience. And I think that's, even if it's a couple people, find that value. You've brought in people. It's so fun watching smaller, in this case, Twitch talkers, just make videos and get frustrated. They're like, nobody's coming in. But then they have anywhere from 4 to 10, which is a fantastic average. You always hear like what the 1% is and whatnot. That's something. Like, getting someone to even show up to a stream is a lot of fucking work. Like, you should be proud of that. That's part of your value. If anything, don't deny that. That's all I'm saying, because to get viewers on Twitch is hard enough. So I guess I can sell myself is the answer to that. And there's value in what I've done with this and with anyone else. It's a real job. It's a real job, everybody.
Yeah, it is. It's
Subsnackums.
It's interesting because after about a year, 2 years, people really kind of can figure out whether or not this is something that they are something that they can do. Because I was
Yeah.
talking before about I'm very critical of people that say like this is my passion, this is what I'm meant to do, and they're on the platform and they're streaming and they're regardless of whether they're seeing growth or not, but they're new
Yeah.
and they haven't seen the work that goes into running, maintaining, and building a sustainable Twitch career
Yeah.
or a content creation career in general. Buddy of mine wound up like he guested on my streams and he was coming over and hanging out and we're playing horror games and doing shots every time we died and just goofing off and having fun. A couple of years in, he was like, man, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. And I was like, you'd be great at this. This is going to be great. You have the personality. Like, you've got all the skill. All you need is the production. So we went out and he got all his production together. He wound up building a small following, quit his job and started streaming full time and started driving Lyft and like literally was doing the exact same thing that I had done already to make ends meet. He was like, I'm gonna give myself 1 year to make partner. He did it in 6 months.
Let's go.
And it was for Stardew Valley of all things, because he wound up getting on that super early, literally at launch, and he just exploded on it.
Oh,
right.
Ooh.
And he was doing really well, but now I think we're 2 years removed from that, and he doesn't stream anymore.
Really?
He doesn't stream anymore. It's not about the amount of necessarily like work that he needed to put in, because he was really good at it. It was just that it was messing with his relationship and the money wasn't what he thought it was going to be. And, he wasn't necessarily building anything sustainable along the way. He was just doing it to check a box is what it seemed like. And now he works a full-time job, like a 9 to 5. And whether or not you make it to partner, whether or not whatever your audience is, no matter your success level, it doesn't, just because you're passionate about something at first, and just because something seems like a golden ideal and dream at first, doesn't mean that for you specifically it will play out that way. And you have to be thinking sustainability the entire time you're trying to make Twitch a career, because it can be a career. It can turn into something that you can sustainably do full time, right? I'm not a Twitch partner. The highest 30-day average I've ever had was 65 2 summers ago. I've been at about a 40 to 50 viewer average for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But we've bought a house. We have, we have a dog and cats, and we're able to pay all our bills and save for things, and we're put money into retirement, and we're doing me and my wife are doing things sustainably.
Yeah.
And over time, seeing the success and living a lifestyle that we can support with what we both do.
Yeah.
And for a long time, she made way more money than me. And that was a huge, I'm not going to say huge stressor between us, but like her friends and her parents, I don't think were like super, super thrilled about me leaving my position to start driving Lyft and Uber and playing video games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But did you get rated here? Shit! Go for it. Go for it. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Welcome in, Raiders. What's up, my dudes? Hope you all well. Let's suffer together. Thank you. First of all, hilarious name. Thank you for the raid of your. Big raid. Freaking out. Here we go. I got you. I'll give you. Welcome to Streamer Shoutout. We got Noctwolf, amazing creator. We're talking about being a content creator full time, getting into it. It's been amazing. We're unfortunately towards the end of this. We're actually starting to wrap up, but check out the YouTube, animedaddy.com, animedaddy on all platforms with 2 T's. This will be up soon. But yeah, welcome in. We're going to keep chatting a little bit longer, and in a bit, we're going to go into the Patreon private show. But thank you. Thank you so much for the raid, dude. I appreciate it. Trusting your audience with me. We do podcasts, so hopefully you've heard of me before, so I'm not boring. I wouldn't say it. Sorry, I don't mean to say this is boring, but it's a different pace, definitely, from normally what happens on Twitch, I feel. Have you ever raided into a Just Chatter, or are you normally raid into like other gamers and stuff?
I usually raid people that are. I've not consciously gone to the Just Chatting section and raided into somebody that was just chatting. Okay. I usually get people to raid from like the promotion section in my Discord.
Yeah.
Or if I see somebody that I follow or somebody that I've worked with before or somebody that I'm friends with that's having a good night, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
for example, if Kyle Driver or Deadly Dill is on and I'm finishing up and they're having a good night and they've got a good count and they've got a good pace going and they're feeling themselves, they're having a good night, you know, I'll rate into that, and then all of a sudden it's like a huge night for them, and I'd rather be able to give that to my friends that are working towards making this, you know, a career and support them and be able
Yeah.
to like give some love there than, you know, just find somebody random.
Yeah.
There are nights where I find somebody random, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, random. Everybody, holy shit, hype train again. I'm getting used to doing hype trains again. This is insane. Okay, here's the deal. Anybody have any final questions? We're gonna start wrapping this up. Knock, thank you, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate
No
you.
problem. There's a lot less drama than I was expecting.
You want drama? We could talk drama. We can talk some
I
beef.
was prepped. Like, you know, in that last call that there was gonna be that I was gonna get exposed or some shit. Like,
Nah, dude,
you know, there was gonna be like drama, and that I was gonna be like put on blast or something.
No. I usually keep those things. I keep the drama talk in Discord. Yeah, well, okay, here's the deal. We're gonna go into the Patreon content. Luke, you silly bitch. Thank you. We're gonna go into some TikTok drama. I can get into it, but I'm gonna go into the Patreon show. All Patreons, remember, jump into the waiting room and I'll pull you in, and then I'll hang out in the milk bar for a little bit. But I do need to get some rest, you guys. I'm tired. Also, my dog is dreaming. You okay, bud? He's just like yelping. You okay, bud? Anyway, final questions. Here we go. Cancel it. Noctwolf beat the shit out of my daughter because she tried using a keyboard instead of a handpad. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, slap children upside the head with hand pads.
Unbelievable. Okay. Not sure if I'll have a mic, but I'll hop in and listen. All good, dude. Where are we at? Where are we at? Did you see any? Do you have chat up, by the way?
Yeah. I'm looking.
All right. I was just say.
I'm just, you know, drama. Give the man some drama. We crave drama. Please, sir, may I have some drama?
Okay. So the biggest thing recently was the blowing up streamers kids said they want to talk. Like they put out a TikTok. I don't know if you saw it, saying they want to like understand why people are attacking them. You know, like how do you not know?
I'm not on. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't think
You
I know
don't.
who these people.
Oh, you don't know blowing up streamers?
No, never heard of them.
Okay, we'll talk about it afterwards. Blowing up streamers are basically like
ahead.
follow for follow, support for, and they try not to be. They've blocked Night Owl, of all people, Night Owl, who is just the other patron saint of TikTok and the internet, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, they give bad advice and like, we don't understand. It's like 3 different kids, I think, run the page, and it's called Blowing Up Streamers, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you not know the advice you're giving? The most recent bit, I don't know if you heard, is take an energy drink to get amped up for stream, or your viewership will grow if you just get high energy and drink an energy drink. Did you see that meta? Tell me you've seen that.
You remember what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about like content shifts?
Yes.
And there's a reason that I don't do as many streamer tips anymore.
Yes.
Well, like when you give tips, it needs to come from a place of experience, and it needs to come from a place of tenure and a place of being able to actually help people.
Ooh.
I don't think that if you've been streaming for anywhere short of probably a year, you know how to give tips that are, I will say, give tips that will provide sustainable growth.
Oh my God, BJ. Another hot video that BJ did was he made fun of the idea of giving tips to grow, in particular growth tips on how to grow your stream, from someone who averages like 5 viewers. Did you see that one?
I have seen people doing that. I have not seen somebody making a joke about it, but I've seen people doing that. People, because that's the thing. Tips is lazy content. Tips is easy. And I do it. I was like the first fucking person to fucking do it. I'm literally the streamer tips guy.
Dude, I literally made a fucking video saying that stream reviews are lazy content and got my ass beat because people are just like, you have lazy content because you're saying it's lazy content. I'm just saying it's like it's not lazy. It's not lazy. It's
my first video the video that literally has the most views on my profile has like 2 million views or something like that, 2 or 3 million views, and it's literally me telling people not to use Streamlabs OBS and use Streamlabs OBS Studio.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
opinion. It's something that I practice.
Yeah.
It's something that I think people should do. But I shot it in 15 seconds because I was mad because Streamlabs was crashing on it. Like, like if I'm going to go on to, if another video that blew up was hold Alt to crop.
Oh my God, dude.
People didn't know it.
Dude, stream markers. Do you know how many times I've introduced people to stream markers, which is exactly the only way I'm able to clip these videos? People didn't know what stream markers were. It's the kicker is there's new streamers every day. These tips aren't invaluable. Like people, like they're valuable to somebody, but also at the end of the day, it's just easy. It's that front loaded content. But the kicker is you have to blend your personality into those. You have to make people like also you, because otherwise my whole thing with like One Hit was the fact that people will come, get the advice they need or the help they need and fucking bounce, you know?
Sure.
And
that's part of like, and that's something that I've never really worried about. And that's something that I feel like a lot of TikTokers that are trying to grow on Twitch worry about. And it's because unlike a lot of people, and I had this conversation, I did a panel with Juan, Les Game, and a couple weeks ago in the Uncanny GG Discord.
yeah.
And we talked about this, and it was like a lot of the advice that people give on TikTok to grow on Twitch is because they grew on Twitch from TikTok.
Yeah.
Versus I came to TikTok from Twitch with an audience already there, with an audience already on Twitch, and I started making Twitch tips because I had already had long-term success on Twitch, which is not something that I feel like a lot of people that have grown their Twitch channel and TikTok simultaneously have done. And a lot of the stuff that I was making videos about, the streamer tips videos, was just accumulated knowledge that I had just picked up and was common sense to me, and was common sense to any veteran creator. Any veteran on Twitch knows everything that I was putting on TikTok.
Yep.
And all of it is stuff that it was common knowledge that that I thought was going to get like shit on when I was posting it, because I was like, people are going to say this is easy. People are going to say this is common knowledge. None of this needs to get out there.
Yep.
Turns out nobody else was doing it, and nobody knew any of that stuff because it wasn't getting shared around. Nobody was making it because there's a lot of people that think Twitch is a zero-sum game, and they don't want other people to grow because it means they're losing viewers.
The stealing viewership fallacy, as it were. Yeah.
And it's like, if somebody really wanted to watch you, they'd have your tab up, bud. Like you can have up to, I think, 3 or 4 tabs and have your viewership still count.
Yeah.
If you wanted people to prioritize you with their time, they would.
Yeah.
Or if people wanted to prioritize your content, they would. It's not about somebody else stealing your view. Yeah. Right. And people don't share different tech tips and different ways to succeed and different ways to find content identity and different things to do that, because they don't want to give away their the background knowledge of how to do all this shit.
Yeah.
And so I started putting it out on the internet, and all of a sudden, it was doing really well on TikTok, and people started seeing that it was doing really well on TikTok, and and a lot of people start jumping on and making streamer tips that have been streaming for, sorry, Abel, but streaming for 3 months, and
okay.
Here's want to do a masterclass. And I'm not saying that I know. I don't know the full background. I don't. That was just the impression I got.
That's the kicker. There was a background besides him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I didn't see the background of that. But the thing is it's not just, I'm using him as an example. And I'm sorry, bud.
No,
but like a lot of people don't have that background.
Yeah.
A lot of people just do it because they see that it works.
100%.
And that if they all of a sudden look like a guru, people will show up. But then, like what you were saying, if all of a sudden you're giving out all these tips, people just come to you to get what they want to grow their own shit, and then they don't stick around for your community.
Yep.
And that's the problem that a lot of these channels run into, is that they can blow up off of a TikTok or two giving a tip about Capcom, and they end up not being able to capitalize on it because it's content that they didn't really, that it's not their content identity. That's not their content. Their content isn't Capamon. Their content isn't teaching people how to be a streamer. Their content is something else. My content is my content is esports shoutcasting, educational content that has an emphasis on lore. And that's what I've always done. I did professional shoutcasting for a year and in esports. And
Yeah.
a lot of my brand is based on being able to be able to talk really fast over gameplay and analyze what's happening, break it down into small pieces that are able to be understood by an audience,
Yep.
and take that as a content identity. And I use that whether I'm telling why I'm positioning where I am in Apex, whether I'm talking about the lore in Apex or the lore of whatever game I'm in. And that's my content, right? Like that's what I've built my audience over on Twitch for over the years.
Yeah.
TikTok was just because I was bored and wanted to make some videos that might help some people. And then now it's like turned into this big thing where all of a sudden other people are trying to grow their Twitch off of their TikTok through the same thing that I was doing, but it's not working because that's not really what their brand is. Juan's brand is being a brutally honest guy who's phenomenal at music.
Yep.
Like your brand is being able to talk to people in a way that gets them to open up in ways that maybe they might not have in another podcast. And your personality makes it very easy to talk to you in a situation that, in a podcast type scenario.
Yeah.
Right. And you're able to bring up this type of thing and not just talk about growth strategies, but also talk about just streaming in general, talk about life, talk about games, whatever it is. You have to figure out what your content identity is. And for a lot of these creators that are trying to grow on TikTok through the use of tips and making Twitch talk content, right?
Yeah.
That's not their content identity. That's not what makes their content special.
Yeah.
What makes their content special is that X factor, whatever it is that they do that nobody else does that they can bring to the table. Whether it's dough tricks or whether it's music or whether it's Girl Thulu taking apart consoles and explaining how to fix them, which is a fucking amazing series, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
Oh yeah. I watch all of you. Don't worry. I'm watching all of you.
Les Game does the Will It game, with the snacks.
Yep.
And it's like your content what you make for content cannot depend on it can't exclusively depend on helping other people succeed in your same space.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to be sustainable long term. And I think that a lot of people want to pop. A lot of people want to be a flash in the pan. You know what I mean? They want to see that fire pop up when you drop the oil in the pan.
100%.
And they don't know how to cook a good meal. And how do you turn that flash in the pan into a quality meal that people can digest over time and will set you up for success over time? And when I do educational content now, that's what I try to more gear towards.
Yeah.
How do you find your content identity? How do you find what's special about you that you can bring that's an X factor to, really make your content stand out? I still do tech tips every here now and then, but I'm doing more content that's more lore based, that's more in line with my own content identity, with what I do on Twitch and what I started doing, than, those tips, because those tips aren't really what my content is about. It's what I'm known for on TikTok.
Yeah.
But it's not what I've done for 6 years.
That's the kicker, is finding that balance of getting people back into the stream for you and not just your tips. And that was my biggest worry coming into like Twitch Talk and seeing all the tips and stuff, was like, this isn't from a mile away, coming from the communities, like the support, follow for follow communities I was in. It's just like, it gets super tricky when you start involving helping other streamers. Once again, passively it's great. These conversations help, but it is not my job. I don't want it to be my job to go out and hand holding, I guess, in certain senses. But putting that identity in your work while helping other streamers is fantastic. It's finding that balance that a lot of people can't do, because the perfect analogy, you put it into food, which was great, was oil and can't cook. For my caveman brain, I'm gonna oil and can't cook, But dude, that was fucking perfect. Real quick, everybody, be chill. I know there's a little bit of a back and forth going on in the chat.
There is? What's going on? I wasn't looking, sorry.
Video, bro. I'm glad to see you still pushing through after the drama and just know no matter. Oh, with because Abel's in there, BJ's in there. He had that video about growth. The fact is,
oh yeah, the thing is that I heard some of the fallout that happened from that, and that's fucking bullshit. Nobody needs to go through that. Nobody deserves that. Nobody should.
People are allowed to make mistakes, but unfortunately on TikTok you get like crucified for some things. Like it's a mentality. It's all kinds of stuff, but. End of day, I think tips are valuable. There's people you don't know coming to the platform like Abel, who had experience in the realm of Twitch. He just hadn't been streaming for long. Came in hot, obviously, called everybody shit. But there's still the fact that the advice he was giving was maybe generic, still had its value. That's the kicker. Growth tips are the main thing. OBS tips are fantastic because you can't fuck up like an OBS tip, you know? Well, I mean, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but you know what I'm trying to say. Tech tips are fine. Like Deep Voice Man, fucking perfect. Your tips, perfect. All OBS. Growth tips are where those gray areas that people have to be careful because growth isn't the same. That's the beauty of these conversations that I've learned. There's so many gray areas on how to grow your stream. One thing might not work for another thing. Vel, who's been on a couple times, no cam streamer, woman, no cam streamer, made partner in 6 months. It's different for everybody. So
yeah, it's not about, for me, if I give growth tips, it's not audience growth. It's personal growth.
It's
you need to grow as a content creator, and people still come in, and I'll be playing in the middle of an Apex game, and they'll be like, "Man, I love your content on TikTok. How can I grow my audience? How can I get seen by more people?" And I'm like, it's not about getting seen by more people. You could get rated for 100 people, but if your content's shit, it doesn't matter. They're all gonna leave.
It's the number. It's whatever it is about the number. High follow, high view. It's all about that number.
You need to focus on personal growth and figuring out what it is that makes your content good. Go back and watch your VOD. If you get bored after 5 minutes, it's probably not good.
Yep.
You know, and don't try to kid yourself. You got to be brutally honest with yourself and figure out where could I do better, and then make it better for the next stream. And it's not going to be perfect the next stream, and you have to be able to give yourself a little bit of leeway, a little bit of slack, a little bit of forgiveness. Be easy on yourself that way. And not burn out from trying to work on it over time. You know, my ability to like come on a podcast like this, and I don't have a script. I feel like, but I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm literally just talking stream of consciousness. Yeah. My ability to articulate my thoughts clearly, concisely, and articulately in this manner is a skill that was developed over time. It didn't happen in my first month. It didn't happen in my first 3 months. It didn't happen in my first year. It takes time to be able to be a good streamer and to be able to be a streamer that is engaging and entertaining to watch. And figuring out what's special about your content is a huge part of that. And not only is it a huge part of that, but that's where your focus should be, not in your analytics.
That's it, everybody. I'm going to cut on that because there were like 8 different moments where it's like this fucking hit, but once you... fucking cool dude. I'm excited. I'm like amped. Damn. Okay. I realize this is a 1080p. Yeah, I still have it at 1080. I know you're not supposed to stream in 1080 or some bullshit, but it's
less of a big deal in a podcast.
Yeah,
the thing about 1080p is that it's because your bitrate can't process 60 FPS.
Yeah.
At 6K at 1080p.
Yeah.
People don't watch podcasts at 60 FPS. Like, you know, our TV shows play at like 27 typically. So like it's not as big a deal for just chatting. For a game like Apex, COD, something that's very fast paced, you're going to see a fuck ton of pixelating on the screen. With any kind of faster jittery movement because of the bitrate not being able to keep up with the amount of information being sent. So
sorry, Nikki. Doing one of his TikToks where you have
people that preach 1080p as shit don't understand the specific science behind why it doesn't work in certain cases.
Yeah. And
the people that preach that you can stream in 1080 probably haven't done any research into it. There's a balance. It's not black and white. There are situations where you can stream at 1080. There's situations where you should stream at 720.
Yeah.
And honestly, to be safe, I'm a set it and forget it type of guy. I don't like fucking with that shit every single stream. I keep it at 720. I keep everything the same, regardless of what my content is.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're just doing podcasts, 1080p is fine.
That's honestly what I figured. So I'm not fully worried about it. I know there's a whole thing about it, but yeah, I'm going to keep going in 1080. Also because I use these VODs for my highlights. I take the highlights because, like I said, I have the markers. It makes it easy for me when editing shit. So sorry, guys. Hey, you can watch on TikTok. I was still on TikTok. Will was over there for a while. So we're going to raid out. I'm going to raid into, oh man, I don't even know. I'm bad at this. Who should we raid into? I guess we should kind of keep the vibe with this chill, cool vibes, but I don't know. Damn, rating's hard. I never know who to raid because I want to make sure, especially with this format, that I don't raid into someone who's like completely off balance, if that makes sense. I should raid Shroud, you know? Absolutely not. You know what? We're gonna.
Why not?
That is true. Oh, you know what? We're gonna raid. This is. I recently started following her, Alex Noramaki. She's playing Tattletale.
Raid John.
I don't.
More time. Never let it end.
Okay, fuck it. We're raiding John. I know. I got it. John got me in trouble, but
oh man,
fuck it.
John got you in trouble with work. Just keep him online.
Yeah.
Easy.
Everybody, John's doing an uncapped subathon. Bits give the most time. Please ruin his life, and I will stop spending time with him. All right, let me give you the lowdown real quick. Every week I get a bunch of creators together and we talk about streaming, their experiences with streaming, anything outside of streaming, gaming, news, current events, their lives. Pretty much just chatting is what this is. If you're new here, welcome in. It's a pretty easy going bunch. Make sure to say hello to everybody in chat. If you want to get my attention, make sure you at me. And if you're a returning guest, what's up guys? Now, if you're asking yourself, how do I get on the show? Easy, just hang out, get to know everybody, join the Discord, hang out in the milk bar, be cool. Just as a reminder, Patreon members get a private after show with the main guests, usually about an hour of a Q&A. So to wrap this up, if you're watching live, sit back, relax, drop a lurk. And if you're watching this on a VOD or a highlight, make sure to comment and like, share, do all that other good stuff. And then check out animedaddy.com for my schedule every week. In fact, why don't you head over to Twitter, follow me there. You can get more updates on the show, the schedules, all that good stuff. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, we have Complaincasts, and then Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have the Super Chats, and then the Streamer Shoutout podcast. Lots of great people to meet, a lot of chats to be had. I'll see you guys there.